In-house movements versus third-party movements. Which one's better? Let's find out together. Here we go. A third-party movement is produced by a company whose sole job is generally to produce movements for watches. An in-house movement is a movement that's designed and manufactured in-house by the watch company that you're purchasing from. Some of the most famous watches you might be familiar with today actually at one point, or maybe still do, use third-party movements. Some of these really popular movements are ETA, Sellita, and Miyota. Even Rolex, for the longest time until the 2000s, was actually using third-party movements. Have you heard of the Rolex Zenith Daytona? It was nicknamed that because Rolex actually used a Zenith movement inside of that Daytona watch. Now, as these larger companies begin to evolve, they're beginning to create their own in-house movements. One, because they want to create something that separates them from the rest. If they're using a general-based movement, it means they're going to be compared to these other watches. They don't want that. And two, they can start to create more high complication movements and do things that matter to the consumer, like having the most accurate mechanical watch out there in the market today. But what's good versus bad with third-party versus in-house movements? Third-party movements are very accessible. Think of cars like American-made Chevrolet, Ford. Think of Japanese-made cars like Toyota, Honda. Many people own them, which means all the mechanic shops around you have to know how to service them to some degree. So it becomes a little bit more affordable for you when you're buying a car to get it serviced. Not only affordable, it becomes more accessible. There's more mechanic shops around you that can help you service your car. This is the same for watchmaking. An in-house movement, compare it to like a Lamborghini, a Bugatti. It's incredible. But when you need it serviced, there's only a few technicians who know how to service that movement properly, especially if it's a high complication movement. So, just like a Lamborghini and a Bugatti, you have to send it back to the manufacturer where you purchased it from, and it has to go through a servicing. That means that you might be without your watch for a number of weeks, months, or sometimes even up to a year. And when you get that bill, it's going to be very expensive. Look, there's a lot of hype and marketing around in-house movements, and there's a lot of good reasons why watch companies want to make in-house movements. I think it's spectacular, but many people come online today and say, why would you buy a third-party movement? They don't realize the history behind many of these movement brands. I mean, some of your favorite watches have used third-party based movements in the past. So before you try and knock a third-party movement, think about why you're knocking it. And before you try and discredit an in-house movement, think about what goes into producing and manufacturing one of the coolest things about a watch that there is. And that's what keeps it running and ticking.